Just take a look at this. Beautiful, isn't it? The comet Neowise flew near the Earth in the summer of 2020 and looked just stunning. However, this beauty is capable of causing an enormous amount of destruction. 66 million years ago, the asteroid Chicxulub crashed into our planet, destroying all living things. Or almost all living things. It was a catastrophe of incredible power that almost stopped evolution. Was anyone really able to survive it? It seems that this question requires more thorough verification. To begin with, let me briefly remind you what we're talking about. The asteroid that caused the dinosaurs to die out hit the Earth with 60,000 times more energy than the entire nuclear arsenal of the world. A huge number. So that it would be easier for you to imagine, here's footage from the finale of Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines, where the artificial intelligence used all the missiles of the world to destroy humanity. Now, multiply all this by 60,000. All the big dinosaurs that couldn't hide underground or underwater were destroyed. The sunlight was almost completely blocked. It became too dark for photosynthesis, so many plants disappeared because of it, followed by all herbivores. They simply had nothing to eat. Next, it was the turn of the predators, the real apocalypse. But even after that, there were animals that survived. Moreover, not all dinosaurs died. However, I'll return to them a little later. In the meantime, look at this piece of rock formation from Canada. You can see what our planet looked like before and after the fall of that meteorite. The lower light layer and darker above it is a gradual climate change. And then, you see this thin strip? The unexpected impact which occurred exactly 66 million years ago. After that, the Earth became quite different. So it was a very brief course of history, and all for one photo. And there's the leg of a real dinosaur on it. Moreover, not just the remains of an ancient lizard, and not a plastic toy. It's a real leg, which may still walk quite successfully on our planet with the rest of this lizard. And I'm not kidding. Look, it's walking right now. While you're watching this video, somewhere on Earth, ancient lizards are walking. Well, or almost ancient lizards. How's that possible? How could anybody survive the fall of a meteorite that practically burned the planet? But let me open it up for you a little bit. I'm talking about birds. The birds descended from Meniraptora dinosaurs. These dinosaurs had two important adaptations that helped them to survive. First, beaks instead of teeth, which allowed them to crack seeds and nuts buried in the upper soil layer. Second, their relatively large skull capacity suggests that they were smarter than other reptiles. Perhaps these creatures even lived in more complex social groups that could collaborate and adapt to find new sources of food. Even there, in the post-apocalyptic landscape, this allowed the Meniraptora to be better than any other species of small dinosaur. Even those who could survive the initial collision couldn't withstand the competition. As a result, the land was divided between the so-called bird dinosaurs and ancient mammals. By the way, what about that dinosaur which is still wandering around the planet somewhere? Meet cassowaries. Cassowaries are large birds that live in the tropical forests of New Guinea and northeast Australia. They are in second place to the ostrich in terms of size, and of course they can't fly. You can't fly with such dimensions. Adults can grow up to almost 2 meters in height, but cassowaries really look like dinosaurs. They have muscular fingers and powerful claws, and the size of a cassowary's leg is more like another reference of nature to ancient lizards, an Easter egg of some kind. So it's believed that the cassowaries, along with all other modern birds, are living dinosaurs. And this is the official opinion of scientists. Birds are the descendants of the only line of dinosaurs that survived the mass extinction 66 million years ago. That is, if to speak more accurately, they aren't exactly dinosaurs like Diplodocus or Tyrannosaurus. Birds can rather be called their cousins. I agree, this may seem strange because a pigeon or a penguin doesn't look like a Tyrannosaurus, for example, but we can still see the connection. For example, the location and structure of the bones. Yeah, just imagine. Penguins and T-Rex are relatives. This is even better. Chickens and T-Rex. Parrots and T-Rex, right? I can go on like this all day. However, if there aren't so many surviving descendants of ancient creatures on land, then in the ocean you can find really amazing species. It's even hard to believe in the existence of some. For example, scientists have found sharks about 390 years old.
I think you should probably just stay right where you are.
Okay.
I'm talking about Greenland sharks. They live in cold waters at great depth. They can live up to 500 years. I wouldn't be surprised if the secret is that they just don't have anybody in the way. Such individuals haven't been caught yet, but it seems that Greenland sharks really have potential. But when it comes to ancient creatures, we usually imagine something creepy. Greenland shark eats fish and carrion, swims at great depths, and isn't a danger to humans. We can't say the same about the alligator gar. Oh, look at that handsome devil.
It's the alligator gar. It's an absolutely magnificent creature.
So this is a fish that looks like an alligator. Not a random pledge of love of different species, just a fish that looks like it could bite off Captain Hook's hand, then stalk him for years, ticking ominously. In the Mesozoic era, the ancestors of this fish inhabited many reservoirs. Today, alligator gar live in the valley of the lower Mississippi, as well as in some freshwater lakes in the U.S. Yeah, be careful. You never know when you could suddenly run into a prehistoric monster.
Take a look into those jaws. Look at those teeth.
And I'm not kidding when I use the word monster. Not so long ago, people caught a gar that weighed 168 kilograms. Usually, this ancient monster eats other fish, but it could even bite a young alligator in two with its needle-sharp teeth. They say that so far, no gar has ever attacked a person, but you know, what if there's just no one to tell the story? Okay, I'll try not to scare you again. Although it seems that the alligator gar isn't the scariest thing that's lived till our days, first in line of the horror hit parade is the frilled shark, a fish that looks more like a snake or an eel.
Frilled shark is one of the most bizarre-looking creatures on the planet. It really does look like an alien.
Originally from the Cretaceous period, this predator hasn't changed much during its existence. It hasn't evolved like many other species. Probably it decided it's perfect already. Well, hard to argue with someone who has 300 teeth in their mouth, and especially when they're located just like this. It's not just a fish, but a living inspiration for horror writers. However, the frilled shark isn't a danger to humans. With these creepy teeth, it eats other fish and squid, and I wouldn't want to meet it somewhere at sea, would you? When we look at some ancient animals, we only have to be glad that they're extinct. For example, the Archelon turtle. It lived in the Cretaceous period and most likely disappeared with the dinosaurs, but not without a trace. We can say that Archelon left us its distant and no less frightening relative, an alligator snapping turtle. It looks like a flattened alligator, powerful jaws, horned shell, and color. It also hunts in a really interesting way.
Alligator snapping turtle. Woo! What a fantastic animal!
The turtle lies motionless at the bottom, almost completely submerged in mud, then widely stretches its jaws, sticking out its thin tip of tongue. It's colored in bright pink, and not by accident.
Look at that!
The wiggling worm serves as a perfect bait for fish that swim up trying to grab it, and immediately they get snapped into the powerful jaws. Although humans aren't on the menu of the alligator snapping turtle, you still have to be extremely careful with it. This species can easily bite a broom handle in two.
2, 3. Oh. That's your hand. If that's your hand, you just lost 2 fingers.
There have also been reports of rare cases where this turtle's bitten off people's fingers, like completely. But if you think that in order to survive the end of the world, you need to be some kind of giant fish, don't worry. Cockroaches, too, coped perfectly with all this. Not so long ago, a couple of cockroaches were found in a piece of amber in Myanmar. This piece was more than 99 million years old. In other words, they lived calmly on Earth even in the dinosaur era. Most likely at that time, cockroaches lived in caves because even millions of years ago, they perfectly navigated in the dark. Also, they didn't need to worry about people slamming into them with their slippers. Dinosaurs didn't believe in house shoes. And you know, I was wondering what the world would be like if dinosaurs never went extinct. Let's say that same asteroid would have flown past Earth. Or maybe it would have fallen somewhere else at another angle. One way or another, if catastrophe and mass extinction didn't happen, what would have happened to our planet? Some researchers argue that even without the asteroid, the rule of dinosaurs would have come to an end. The climate was changing and it was too difficult for huge lizards to adapt to it, so evolution would have gone in its own way anyway, and we would have gotten about the same Earth. Other experts have a completely different opinion. They think that dinosaurs would have managed to evolve, but with significant loss in size. Because of climate change, plants would have also changed. Herbivorous lizards would have gone on the unusual diet, and predators would have followed them. It's possible that some small species would have switched to fruit and would have jumped on trees like monkeys. But even small dinosaurs would be a serious competition for mammals. Only in a world without giant lizards, our very distant ancestors had a chance to develop. If dinosaurs weren't extinct, man could never have appeared. In fact, the modern world with dinosaurs is a very interesting topic. Perhaps I'll even dedicate another video to it. What? Have you seen how many films have been made about it? Well, I want to do it too. So if you agree, write in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and all that. See you later.